Do you think taxes are too high and government is too big? Are you sick of American jobs going overseas or out of our country? Do you oppose Obamacare and the federal takeover of healthcare? Do you believe that Americans have the right to own guns and protect themselves? Do you believe politicians and government should strictly adhere to the U.S. Constitution and our laws? Do you oppose illegal immigration and support the repeal of all tax-funded benefits going to illegals? Should America retain its independence and not become subject to a global government? Do you believe that marriage should be exclusively between a man and a woman? Do you believe that babies have the right to be born? Do you think the IRS abuses citizens? Do you believe in the right to a trial by a jury of your peers instead of being tried by a court composed of government bureaucrats? Would you like to stop being required to give out your social security number all the time because you think it's an invasion of privacy and contributes to identity theft? If you answered yes to most of these questions, you should register and vote as an independent American. The Independent Party, otherwise known as the Third Party, sprang up when the predominant two other parties failed to meet some citizens' needs. Since the turn of the 21st century, the two predominant parties have been the Democratic and the Republican. The Independent Party runs on a platform that is largely dictated by the current leading political figure. Because the Independent Party does not run on any one platform, the party tends to be more outspoken about current issues that face the nation. The Independent Party is widely known to be a party that is led by leaders within the political movements of the times. While the Independent Party can cover a variety of issues, it usually happens that the leaders are individuals that have been elected by a sea of their peers to take on the leadership roles. Generally, for each major election, the Independent Party leader will take on one or two major issues to tackle. The issues that the Independent Party runs on vary. The Democratic and Republican parties have very set agendas and political views that remain constant throughout each election. However, the Independent Party runs on a platform that can change from year to year. Being that they are independent, politicians within the Independent Party select which issues they feel are most important to their communities and will work to bring attention to those issues in each election. The Independent Party believes that families are the fundamental building blocks of a moral society, that traditional family values are the strength of our nation, and that Christian and similar principles are the key to strong homes in America. They believe that patriotism, civic duty, and good character are essential to personal liberty and happiness for the people of America. Independents believe that God has endowed men with certain unalienable rights, such as life, liberty, and property, that these rights are guaranteed by the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and that it is the primary duty of government to protect these rights. Independents believe that federal government has no constitutional authority to regulate, control, or fund education, and that this right belongs to the states or to the people. Independents believe that free enterprise, along with safeguards to protect our jobs and businesses from foreign competition, is the best economic system for America, that taxation should be limited to those methods provided for in the original Constitution, and that our nation must return to a debt-free monetary system in accordance with the Constitution. They also believe that government has no authority to circumvent or usurp the U.S. Constitution, that only state or local governments have the right to regulate or discourage drug, alcohol, and gambling abuse in their jurisdictions, and that the safety of law-abiding citizens must take the precedence over the rights of criminals. Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Independents believe protection of the environment should be a state, local, and individual responsibility, that there must be a dynamic balance between energy development and conservation, and that safe and inexpensive alternative energy sources should be developed. Pollution-free alternative energy sources have been discovered and patented, which have been suppressed by corporations and lobbied government officials, but these tools could quickly become available and which should be allowed to reach the hands and use of we the people, were it not for politics and government interference. They believe that the Constitution for the United States was prepared and adopted by men under inspiration from Almighty God, that is a solemn compact created by the people of the states of this nation, that it was made specifically by and for a moral and religious people, that is the supreme law above all other laws, and it must be held. The Independent Party believes that the sole function of the government is to protect life, liberty, and property, that the federal government is an agent of the states and the people, and that each state is sovereign in performing these functions reserved to it by the U.S. Constitution. Each elected official is under mandate to take an oath to defend and uphold the U.S. Constitution. It is the responsibility of the people to hold these elected and appointed officials accountable for their oaths. Many, if not all, of our current problems are traceable to the abdication of the people to perform their duty collectively and individually. They also believe that a strong defense establishment is essential to the preservation of our nation, and that America must not commit its military to any international organization, and that neither should foreign military bases be allowed on American soil. The Independent Party was established by the people as a means to try to elect leaders that are not oriented as puppets of their political party. Independents carry on the vision of our founding fathers: liberty, fiscal discipline, limited government, and accountability. To bring our country back to the original intent of our founding fathers is the major goal of the Independent Party. Independents are pragmatic and solutions-oriented. Independents are forward-thinking. They led the charge on the abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, and child labor laws. Independents look out for the greater good and are not beholden to party interests. According to John Adams, there is nothing which I dread so much as the division of the Republic into two great parties, each arranged under its leader and concerting measures in opposition to each other. This, in my humble apprehension, is to be dreaded as the greatest political evil under our Constitution.